Hey you guys, welcome back to Beamyourlight. I don't know if you guys can see me or not. I'm gonna put on like a little bit of light, but I'm just sitting in a parking lot. And I was on the phone having a conversation with my brother about something that I don't know what that was. Anyways, I was just having a conversation with him about, just the way our generation looks, and there's just so much damage that has been done through generations, and that's because of the generational curses that are lingering over families and bloodlines. And by bloodlines, I really mean generations. So I just wanted to share this because I wanted to exemplify why there's so much brokenness and hurt and pain in the midst of, our children. I don't have children, but when I say children, I mean like our generation. And if you do have children, then this will come to you as an understanding as well. But the way life is going and the way like life is headed, like the direction that is headed in for many of the youth and kids and young adults, really everybody, but I want to focus in on the youth, is, let me just close my window really quickly. What I see is just brokenness and so many people lost that are looking for healing and love, but don't know where to find it because they don't know. And so as I'm sitting here, I have all this time to think sitting in my car, and I think about what I see on social media. I mean, what I really used to see, and then the things that I also watch. Like if I'm watching, I watch a lot of conservative news as well. I like to stay in touch with everything. I like to stay in touch with not just, my faith walk, with sermons and other prophetic words, and just wherever the Lord leads me in that area. And then I like to stay up to date with politics. It's important. It's part of the word. Like God, literally Jesus was a part of this as well. And then I have like family, and I have my fun side, and there's different areas, right? But I'm always learning. I like to learn. I like to listen. I like to watch. I like to hear. And it's important as not only a leader, but as a child of God, that you are studying and getting wisdom and knowledge in through the word of God to see what's being done. You could see the evil in the spiritual realm, right? Before the physical. And so as I go on Instagram, I only have Instagram. I don't have Facebook anymore. I really never liked Facebook. And to me, Instagram is just easy to deal with because it's one thing, and then YouTube. I don't have TikTok. I mean, I have one, but I don't use it. And that's about it. And so, the way our generation is, the way they're headed when it comes to girls, right? Girls and boys and girls. I see, women that are revealing themselves for attention. And we know that this has been going on for quite some time. I mean, I fell into the pit of this many years ago. We were seeking attention, right? People are seeking attention. They're seeking validation from people they don't even know. And the more you crave attention, the more you keep doing things outside of yourself, outside of your demeanor, your morals, your beliefs. And some people they copy and paste, right? They copy and paste. They see what everybody else is doing. So, hey, I want to do that too. I want to get into this trend. I want to get into this. And I'm not saying everything is bad, because right or wrong is, we know as Christians what right or wrong is to the Lord. But when you speak to other people and you explain this to other people, you do it in love and with grace, in a way that they don't feel judged or condemned, but that they feel heard and seen by the love of Christ. And so if we go with men, I was talking to my brother, and we were just saying how there's so many broken families because not a lot of men are standing up for what they believe in. They're not standing up for God's truth. They're not standing up as men of God. And God says the man is to lead the home and to love his wife. And if that isn't even in the foundation of a marriage, then the whole thing is broken. The whole thing is in confusion. And then this is why we have broken families. This is why we have broken communities. This is why things keep going and happening and spiraling. And we need more men to stand up and to lead their home, to love their wives, to stop looking at women on social media and lusting. Like it's a big spiraling effect. It's like a boomerang effect. And then if we talk about women, because it's not just men, they're not feeling loved, they're not feeling seen and heard by their husbands. So then they're going on to social media to get attention. And maybe it doesn't have to be a marital thing. Maybe this is an upbringing of daddy issues. Maybe this is an upbringing of past trauma and hurt that has never been dealt with, never been addressed or confronted and healed. And in order to heal in our lives, to receive healing, to receive freedom from all these soul ties and all these bondages and chains, we have to learn how to forgive. If forgiveness isn't a topic at the table, then that is something that is missing. And when you can learn to forgive others, God forgives you. God gives you more grace, more mercy to deal with other people, but so you're set free from the very things that were holding you down. I will never forget the day that I have shared the story before, but the time that I had this conversation with my mom, because my parents got a divorce. I was only 4 years old. I was very close to both my parents. And as a kid, you don't understand. And these things were never addressed. And obviously, many of you guys could probably relate to my story. But a lot of daddy issues stemmed because of this. Did I know that growing up? No. I didn't know why I spiraled out of my own character. I didn't know why I did the things that I did, but I did them. And you could talk about rebellion. You could talk about hurt and pain and soul ties. You just keep piling it up and piling it up until you come into a place where you are not only tired of seeing the same thing, but that you want something else. And you'll keep looking for it until you find it. And for most people, they don't find it because it's found in God. And until you find God and how much He loves you and how much He sees you and calls you worthy and that you are more than enough, you'll always keep looking for something that's not there. You're always going to try to fill up a void that is not, people can't fill that void. Sex, drugs, alcohol, pornography, addictions, that does not fill up the void that your soul's quenching to be filled up with. So when we turn to God and we turn to our Maker, we turn to Him for everything, He redeems us. He restores us. He says, I'm more than enough. And I could testify as someone who has done things that I didn't think that I could be, how could God ever love me if I've broken down and I've done this? How does He still love me? He is agape love. He is unconditional love. He's a love that never breaks, that never runs out, He never gets tired of loving us. God's forgiveness is there to heal us, to restore us, to redeem us, so we may give that to other people and find healing in our relationships, healing in our hearts, and moving towards what God has called us to do. And so oftentimes God will take you through a course and season of healing so that you can learn how to love other people, so He can use you in however way that looks. And so when I think about social media, I get so aggravated sometimes with social media because, I'm not perfect, and I obviously used it in the past for dumb reasons, but now I use it for the ministry. I use it for my personal life because I have fun with it when I do want to be on there. But at the same time, social media is people's lives. Like, they make it their entire life. And when we start to look towards these things, these outlets to be our security and validation and our worth, we're actually more broken inside because these things have no substance. And if we go into the Bible, where it talks about the city of Baal, how people worship their gods, idols, right? They were just wood and stone, nothing. They were nothing, and they were missing the bigger picture. And also with the Israelites as well. If you go into Jeremiah, it talks about this. Jeremiah talking about, these people don't want to turn from this. God is he's showing us who he is, but yet people still seek to these gods. And that is a problem, because it's a problem in your life. It becomes a problem in your life, meaning it becomes a problem in the lives of those that are around you. And so I want to share this because I want to paint a picture here. I want to illustrate a picture here as to where we seek our validation from. For a long time, I sought out my validation from relationships, from, materials, when I realized none of that made me happy. And it doesn't make you happy. None of it makes you happy. If anything, it just worsens the way you feel. You think these things make you happy. Sometimes people think money makes them happy, but they're the most loneliest people, because none of this stuff is going to fulfill you the way God fills you up. None of this stuff is going to fill you up the way God, in the way he sees you. So I pray that this encourages you. I pray this blesses you to know that, yeah, does God want you to be fruitful? Absolutely. Does God want you to be in an amazing marriage? Absolutely. Does God want you? He's the foundation to it all, so that in our marriage, if we are going through a trial, we know who to turn to. We know not to blame each other, or we have a better, we're instructed in a better way when we have God on our side. So it's not to say, oh, you're going to have a perfect life. People oftentimes think Christians are living this perfect life. No. If anything, we have God on our side. And it's in the way you raise your kids. It's in the way you love your wife. It's in the way you are a leader, not only in your home, but in the workplace or in the church. And God is a solution to everything. And I think what's going on around the world is that people are looking for something that they're never going to find, because everything we need is found in Jesus. It's found in God. And we are the light of the world, the salt of the earth, that gets to share that with people, the truth. And we have to stand up for the truth. We have to acknowledge God in all our ways, because whether 10 people, they may reject the gospel, or 10 people may reject the love of Christ, that one or two people might come in and say, you know what, this has changed me. What you're speaking has changed me. It's done something in me that I want more of. And that is what matters. So we want to build our lives on a foundation in God, because people need him. And it builds for better marriages, better families, right? What God puts together, no one can break that. No one. So I pray this blesses you, and I will talk to you guys soon. God bless you.